Hi there. Many customers have been asking me, or potential customers have been asking me, how can we predict the height, the final height between the floor and the ceiling once the conversion has been done. So I'm going to show you now. I will take some photos later so you can see, just in case there's not enough light in here. But basically we've excavated just this corner here, but I normally advise my potential clients to do a bit of a trial pit. That's just basically to find out how far the foundation goes down. So I'll just show you what I mean. So down here, this is a corner of a basement, and as you can see, you've got the step foundation which is level, the right one with the left one, and it goes all the way right across to the step, and then it continues into the dividing wall which has a second chamber in there. You would then want to excavate potentially in this corner there like a quadrant shape excavation, and I would probably say about that big. So if you excavate it all the way until you find these steps, you'll be okay. And then you want to go to this corner here, which is both external walls in this case, but this is an external wall, and if yours is an internal wall, you can still do a quadrant shape in there. And now I will just show you why it is necessary, because if you assume that your basement footing or foundation is at one level, you'd be right to say that in most cases it is. But I'll just show you now, as we're going to the right, it's still the same level. However, in here, it steps right down. So if you, for example, have excavated just this area there, and you found the foundation to be at this level, you would then report to myself, or you would assume that this is your finished ceiling height. And as I've explained in previous video, you would measure from the base here all the way to your ceiling, and then reduce that by 200 millimeters or 8 inches, and this will give you the final ceiling. So now you've assumed that, for example, you have 2.3 meters as a rough measurement. You deducted that by 200, and you get in a 2.1. However, when we come to do the job and we find that the excavation, the foundation is not going that far, we then have to take it from the highest point, because we are not allowed to go below that without going into reinforcement of foundation, which could be quite expensive. Once you've excavated in a quadrant shape, roughly 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters, you can hire a drill with a hammer action on it, with a chisel, or you can simply go to one of the DIY shops and get a hammer and a cold chisel. So you've created a bit of a quadrant. I normally recommend to do it between two walls. That way you can expose the foundation of both walls, of two walls in one hole. You've reached this little step, which is the step foundation. You want to get it relatively clean so you can see it clearly. And what you want to do is basically with a shovel, with a spade, with whatever you've got, try and poke at the base of it. If you're able to push your spade or shovel underneath it, that means that there's no more foundation. Therefore, this is your point of measurement. So this is here, we've got a little bit of a rocky terrain down here, which is fine. That actually means that we can chop this step flush back with the wall. So in some cases we cannot do that, because if the house is sitting on soft soil or clay, then we're really not able to do this. So you've reached the bottom of it. You either have exposed beams, or you might have the lath ceiling, or you've got the plasterboard or whatever. Don't worry too much about the thickness of it, because once we replace the ceiling, it's going to get 12.5 mil to 15 mil of thickness anyway. So take your tape measure, and from the bottom or from the base of the excavation, so that is at the foot of your foundation, you want to measure all the way to the bottom of the ceiling. So this is 213 centimeters or 2130 millimeters. Inches, you're gonna have to do a conversion. I don't have inches on this one. So basically, whatever you get in as a measurement, you then want to reduce it by 125 millimeters or 12.5 centimeters, further 50 millimeters or 5 centimeters, and a further 30 millimeters or 3 centimeters. So the concrete layer will be typically 125 millimeters thick. The insulation on top of it will be 50 millimeters thick. The tanking, which goes, by the way, on top of the concrete, not on top of the insulation. The tanking will be about 8 millimeters and the flooring will be about 20 millimeters, so roughly 30 millimeters. So you need to do the calculation. 125 plus 80 millimeters, it's roughly, I think it's 200 millimeters. So this is basically where you're gonna end up. So if you've got 2.3 meter ceiling, you are almost guaranteed to have a floor to ceiling finish of 2.1 meter, or which I know in feet it's 7 foot. Okay, I hope this information was quite useful for you guys, and like I said, you can download the file from our website. It's under the section useful information, trial pits, and if you need to get in contact with us, it's info@backtobasement.co.uk, and I will catch you later.